If you feel it, chase it!
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're looking at moments where Glen Powell left us saying, "Now there's a movie star," with an affectionate nod.
Feel the rain on your skin. No one else can feel it for you.
Number 10. His cinematic debut. What was the first movie you saw Glen Powell in? You might say Hidden Figures, where he portrayed astronaut John Glenn, or in the 80s throwback Everybody Wants Some. But no.
You get a bunch of competitors together, and you're addicted to winning.
Your introduction to Powell was actually a 2003 blockbuster you didn't even realize he was in.
This is the arena of misfortune. If you want to get to level 2, you're gonna have to battle a Mac.
Spy Kids 3D featured big names like Sylvester Stallone and established child stars like Daryl Sabara. Powell was waiting in the wings as long-fingered boy, whose fingers aren't that long.
Just go out there in your battle mech and fight.
His screen time isn't long either, but Powell immediately showcased a pizzazz that hungers for more. Thankfully, it wasn't game over for his career. As far as Powell has come, he reflects on the Spy Kids shoot as, quote, one of the best days of his whole life.
Don't get too trashed and I win bonus points.
Number 9. His solo audition. Several rising stars were in the running for Han Solo in the 2018 prequel, including Glen Powell.
I auditioned for the Han Solo movie back in the day, and
you did?
Yeah.
Ironically, Powell previously auditioned for Cowboys and Aliens to play Harrison Ford's son, which ultimately didn't pan out. Likewise, the solo role went to Alden Ehrenreich, but Powell walked away with a funny story. Since much of the film centers on Han forming a bond with Chewbacca, the filmmakers had to see how convincingly each actor worked off a Wookiee. Powell didn't get to read lines with Chewie. Instead, the casting director had a button that made a dog sound effect.
You don't look cool in audition by any means.
While Powell came close to piloting the Millennium Falcon, he blew his final audition. Fittingly enough, Powell would get a Han Solo moment in Top Gun Maverick.
Hey, Hangman, you look good. I am good, Rooster. I'm very good.
Number 8. A king among Scream Queens. Scream Queens only lasted 2 seasons, but it spotlighted several young stars on the cusp of stardom. Among them was Powell as Chad Radwell, whose name speaks for itself.
Look, Chanel, I'm a psychology major, so I'm going to break this down into terms that you'll understand.
Chad merges the toxicity of fraternities and the elitism of golf into one preppy package. Yet we can't help but love Chad. His self-entitlement is complemented by a witty self-awareness, distinguishing Chad from the stock jocks we see in other college comedies.
I'm Chad Radwell, and I always win, no matter what.
While the writers clearly have fun crafting his dialogue, Powell infuses the character with a charisma that makes him hard to hate even at his worst. His best scenes are with Emma Roberts' Chanel, who Chad isn't above cheating on. Of course, Chanel's no angel either. In a warped way, they deserve each other.
Wait, what?
I'm sorry, Chanel, that's just how the Radwells roll. We make our beds and we lie in them. We lie in them with our creepy neck brace scoliosis wives.
Number 7. Turning the capybara into a meme. What's your favorite animal? It's a generic question that usually comes with a generic answer like dog or cat. Glen Powell has a unique answer for an interesting reason, however. Despite appearing in Hidden Figures, Powell claims he, quote, basically didn't get invited to the premiere. He showed up regardless, happy to just be there. Maybe a little too happy, as somebody tweeted that Powell, quote, looks like a capybara who made a wish to become human. It wasn't long until the photo became a meme.
Explain the story behind this great photo.
Powell embraced his resemblance to the South American rodent, joking about it in various interviews.
But this is why the internet's a great place.
At this rate, we wouldn't be surprised if a studio greenlit a CG animated movie where Powell voices a capybara. You heard it here first. Number 6. Being deemed expendable by security. Spy Kids 3D wasn't the last movie that united Glen Powell and Sylvester Stallone.
You know what? I want to come right out and say it.
The Expendables franchise has assembled an assortment of old-school action stars. In the third film, Powell injected new blood as the tech-savvy Thorn. In a cast featuring Jason Statham, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and Harrison Ford, among others, Powell stood out as a fresh face.
Do you mind?
This is the least of your worries.
So fresh that a bouncer at the Cannes Film Festival didn't recognize him.
It actually got kind of physical.
Powell attended the festival to promote the film with several co-stars. The bouncer apparently didn't know what Powell was doing in the VIP section, making him leave with physical force. A decade later, Powell is able to laugh about it, especially since the bouncer would probably recognize him now.
Sure you can do this, Thorne?
I can do it. I can do it.
Number 5. Getting encouragement from Denzel Washington. By the time he was a high school senior, Powell had already booked a few small roles in movies and TV shows. Powell was still contemplating his future when he was cast in 2007's The Great Debaters.
Nonviolence is the mask civil disobedience wears to conceal its true face.
Director and star Denzel Washington would help cement Powell's career path. Although Powell didn't have the largest role as a Harvard debater, Washington recognized his potential.
Wow, look at that guy. Long time ago.
He even introduced Powell to his agent, Ed L'Amato. During Powell's freshman year at the University of Texas, Washington and L'Amato convinced him to pursue acting full-time in LA. L'Amato passed away in 2010, but his instincts about Powell proved correct. The same goes for Washington, who hasn't hesitated to remind Powell that he owes him.
But Denzel really gave me the confidence. He said, you got it, and do it. So I'm really glad I took that advice. Yeah.
Number 4. Reaching new heights as Hangman. Powell's career so far can be divided into 2 eras, before and after Top Gun Maverick.
If it ain't Phoenix.
Yeah, here I thought we were special, Coyote.
He originally auditioned to play Goose's son Rooster, competing against Austin Butler, Nicholas Hoult, and Miles Teller. That role naturally went to Teller, but Powell was offered another part as Rooster's rival Hangman.
There's more than one way to fly this mission.
You really don't get it. On this mission, a man flies like Maverick here, or a man does not come back.
No offense intended.
Powell initially hesitated to play such an unlikable character, describing him as Navy Draco Malfoy. However, Tom Cruise wanted to work with Powell to flesh out the character. The producers took Powell's input to heart, expanding Hangman's role and giving him more of an arc.
What happened?
Well, I flew as fast as I could. Kind of like my ass depended on it.
While he mirrors Iceman to an extent, Hangman's evolution throws a few curveballs that leave you rooting for him by the climax. It was the moment Powell officially skyrocketed to A tier.
You give him hell!
Number 3. Wrangling Twisters. After Top Gun Maverick broke records, Powell seemingly became the go-to guy for legacy sequels. In Twisters, he was upgraded to co-lead with Daisy Edgar Jones.
Oh, she's perfect!
She's gorgeous.
Like its 1996 predecessor, this disaster film primarily succeeds thanks to the chemistry between its leads. Edgar Jones and Powell don't merely feel like stand-ins for Helen Hunt and the late Bill Paxton. Powell, in particular, brings his signature energy to the role of Tyler Owens, a storm chaser who's smarter and more sentimental than he looks.
You don't face your fears. You ride them.
It's been argued recently that social media stars have killed the movie star. Powell is the counter-argument. In Twisters, Powell proves once and for all that he's a certified movie star, ironically playing a character who has a YouTube channel.
Is that it?
Nope.
Number 2. His chemistry with Sydney Sweeney. In 2022, Powell presented an MTV Movie and TV Award to Sydney Sweeney. They didn't get a chance to talk, but Sweeney thought Powell might be a good fit for a movie she was getting off the ground.
Let's just get through tonight for them, okay?
Well, she's your sister. I'm sure the relationship won't last long.
She's your friend. I question why they're even together.
Then I'm gonna get a drink and toast to never seeing you again.
Cheers to that, bro.
Casting can make or break a film like anyone but you. On paper, you can dissect why Bea and Ben aren't exactly the healthiest romantic pairing. When you have Sweeney and Powell as the leads, though, it's hard not to be won over.
Gonna do the line? It's king of the world. You're king of the world.
Jack, I'm flying.
Okay, we can stop there.
This modern Shakespearean romantic comedy became 2023's sleeper hit, with its success extending well into 2024. The chemistry between Powell and Sweeney hasn't been limited to the film either.
I gave her an award at the People's Choice Awards.
MTV Awards.
From interviews to SNL, these two are bringing back the movie star and the rom-com. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Hitting a bullseye as a hitman. No film thus far has provided a better showcase for Powell's range than Richard Linklater's Hitman.
Congrats, Gary. You just got promoted to contract killer.
Well, reschedule. He's not even here yet.
Loosely based on a real person, Powell is not only convincing as modest college professor Gary Johnson, but also the revolving door of hitman personas he adopts while working undercover.
So, how are you?
I'm fine. I'm fine.
As over-the-top as the premise sounds, Powell keeps the film surprisingly grounded. His chemistry with co-star Adria Arjona also knows no end.
So we agree to the terms.
Where do I sign?
Powell co-wrote the screenplay, further demonstrating his knack for crafting characters. Where many actors accept whatever high-profile role comes their way, we're glad that Powell has been more selective, pursuing projects he's passionate about and helping to make each one better. Hitman is Powell's best piece of pie yet, and all pie is good pie.
It sure is.
Would you describe Glen Powell as a movie star? Let us know in the comments.
So this was just me joking around with brisket.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.